knowing that, a typical heart attack, a cardiac event looks different for women than all that we're shown on TV, and that you see in the movies and all of that. It presents very differently for women. And a lot of times women don't even realize that they're suffering some type of cardiac event because of that. And even one step further, this interesting point got brought up when I was renewing my CPR the other week, is that bystanders don't feel comfortable doing CPR to women because we got all of this going on up here.
Welcome back, everyone. We're still enjoying the excitement of this, our third season, and we've got loads of great content for you over the course of the next few months on various topics around our well-being right here on Wellness 360 with Carmen Milagro. Now, if you've been with us from the beginning, you know I like to mix things up, and I'll not only share insights on the world of hemp CBD, other health and wellness ideas, but we'll also share some research by some of the leading experts in various fields. So you'll have an opportunity to learn from them, from their different backgrounds and their different experiences. Some of our guests also share their own personal stories. We'll talk about mindset, resilience, and so much more so that we can all make more informed decisions about our own overall well-being in all areas of our lives. Now, you may want to binge watch seasons 1 and 2 to see what you've missed. I love the fact that we have the power to reach all of you through on-demand live stream coaching. The future of coaching is right now, and you're already experiencing it. So you already know this because you're able to watch at your own leisure on your schedule in the comfort and privacy of your own home. And I'm grateful that so many of you are booking your group and private sessions with me because of this. After all, that's my personal goal, to reach thousands of people to help them thrive. And the goal of Wellness 360 is always the same: to present you with more general information about wellness, hemp CBD, Western, Eastern, plant medicine, and other health options from a 360 lens, because this allows you to explore different philosophies and listen to various opinions about the multi-billion-dollar health, wellness, and coaching industries. We want to provide you with content that is worthwhile and helpful in your journey to feel and live better. Remember, it's always your choice. You can accept or reject any of the information that we share with you on these sessions. Make sure you do your own research and decide which suggestions, modalities, protocols, or innovations best resonate with you, and which healers, doctors, or coaches you connect more deeply with. That's the secret. In the first 2 seasons, we've covered dozens of topics, from our endocannabinoid system, the divine awakening of spirit, to top aging factors, how life begins at 50, men's health, to LSD therapy, and beyond. And today, we're going to talk about a pretty serious matter: the number one killer of women over 40. My guest for today's session is not just an extraordinary woman. She's a doctor with a profound personal story to share. Dr. Alexandria Rosa is a renowned functional medicine practitioner, professor, and biohacking expert based in Ohio, and she's dedicated to enhancing the health and well-being of female healthcare professionals and executives. Through her private boutique telehealth practice called Damas Wellness, she draws upon over 2 decades of healthcare expertise, and she specializes in bespoke solutions for holistic women's health, hormones, and weight loss. Dr. Rosa, welcome to Wellness 360. I am so honored that you are spending time with us today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's so great to be here and to be with everybody listening today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rosa. Before we jump into our discussion, the number one killer of women over 40, I just wanted, our viewers and our listeners to sort of get an understanding of how you and I met. We actually met on LinkedIn, on social media. So that speaks to the power of social media, right? We're talking about the power of live stream, but there's the tool of social media that connects us. And I remember it was I can't remember how many months ago, but the first thing that I noticed about you were your videos. And the reason I was so drawn in was because you are so real. You break it down. You are so authentic, and you don't speak like so many other doctors out there.
Mhm.
I felt like you were talking to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I have to have her on Wellness 360.
Oh, thank you. That is such a huge compliment because that's a lot of what I go for through my live streaming. And live streaming is amazing, right? Because you can connect with people all over the entire world and
Correct.
you can do things live and have them interact with the chat. You can bring them up on screen. It's such a great way. And you had mentioned, coaching in your intro, and a lot of the telehealth that I do is I'm chatting with people on the other side of, like, you're in California, I'm in Ohio, and it's amazing. And it's real time that you're interacting with people. And there's nothing else like it. And I never dreamed I would be doing live streaming and be, talking to the people that I talked to and met. But it's so incredible and it's so powerful and it's life changing.
Well, it's yes, absolutely. Of course, there's phone calls, but when you get to see people's
Yeah.
expressions and you get to
Mhm.
connect with them on that level, it is different. When I asked you to be like, what was your first thought when I asked you to be a guest on Wellness 360? Again, we're strangers meeting,
Mhm.
through social media, but what was your thought process that made you say, yes, I'll come on?
Yeah. Well, at first, I was like, who is this trying to get a hold of me? Who is this? And then I had to go but again, it speaks to what kind of content are you putting out there? How are you showing up? Who are you being online? So I had to go check you out and
Sure.
see, because in all, I get messages all the time, and I'm sure you do too. People are asking you for stuff, sending you things, like, you never know. You never know, even on LinkedIn. And so I had to go and do a little bit of searching, and I saw some of the amazing interviews that you've had in the past, and just everything that you talk about and who you are. And I said, yes, I could definitely jump on board with that and be a part of that, because I just don't go and do anybody's show. So
No, but that's also the other side of being
yeah.
in the public and being,
Hmm.
speaking to people from all over is
Yeah.
there is that other side. And it's just like
Mhm.
anything else. We have to do our own due diligence. So
Exactly.
I appreciate that. And thank you for saying yes. And here we are. So let's get into this because I know you have your own very personal story
Mhm.
and you share that. You're not shy about sharing your story to raise awareness of this, the number one killer of women over 40. So for our viewers on these platforms, if you don't mind sharing your story of why you do the work that you do is based on this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm 42 now, and I never would have made it to the age that I am right now if I would have continued with the lifestyle that I was leading before. That's how serious it was. And I speak to and I work with other females in the healthcare space, because I am in the healthcare space. But the information that we're going to share and talk about today is applicable to any woman who is listening to this. But I think what is kind of especially different about my story is, I've been in healthcare for over 2 decades, and I spent most of my life sick, but being a healthcare provider. And I
Right.
spent so much of my life saving other people's lives, but not really doing anything for my own. And that's the point that I got to when I have 3 children. So my oldest is 19. I have a 17 and a 6-year old. And so when I got pregnant with my 6-year old, I went into heart failure. And it was devastating for me. When I had went to the cardiologist, and she told me, she said, your heart is only pumping at so and so percent. And, are you thinking about having another child? And I'm like, well, we'd like to. I would love to try to have more kids. And she's like, well, don't. Because if you do, you probably won't make it. Your heart's not going to be able to support it. Your baby's not going to survive. You're not going to survive. And that just was like that was it for me when she
Sure.
told me that.
Talk about a wake-up call.
And I had to really look inside of myself. I really had to come to some hard truths about myself. And one of the biggest ones was, hey, I'm a healthcare provider and look at the mess that I'm in right now, like how serious my health is right now, where I could die if I don't reverse this, if I don't do something about it. And they wanted to, prescribe me all these medications and do more testing and all this stuff. And I said, you know what? I got myself into this. I'm going to get myself out of it. And I took a very holistic approach to my own health because a lot of the work I had to do, yes, was physical, but most of it, honey, for real, was my mindset, was emotionally.
Sure.
A lot of the mindset, a lot of the spiritual work. I had to do so much. And it was steps. It was steps. And it's all steps that I work with my clients through when they're working on their health. It's the exact same things that I went through to get to where I am today, to get myself out of that situation. But like I said, I was pre-diabetic. I was 75 pounds overweight, the heart failure, messed up knees, joints achy all the time. My skin was like this autoimmune, flare-ups all the time, weird lumps and bumps on my thyroid. I mean, just all of these problems, like multiple medications, and they're putting me on put me on more medications. It was just this never-ending cycle. And I only had to look at my family tree to see where I was going to end up, because my dad passed away too early from a heart attack and a stroke. My mom has cardiac problems. Everybody in my family, every single person in my family has type 2 diabetes, except for me.
Right.
And I knew that that's where I was going to end up. All of my family members, getting fingers cut off, toes cut off, legs cut off from diabetes complications, just all these things that was going to be me if I didn't get my act together. Right. So that was just more and more adding on to it. But it was really that knowledge of, this is where I am. This is what I allowed to happen to myself, because I absolutely did. And now I had to get myself out of it. And it's for somebody in healthcare to be that real with themselves. It doesn't happen enough, because I see out there all the other healthcare providers that are just barely making it along throughout their shift and throughout their day. And I'm like, but you're here, preaching to other people and, doing all these things for other people. And you're not really taking care of yourself at all. And you absolutely need to. And I wouldn't be here. I mean, cardiac heart stuff would have got me if I wouldn't have made that change.
Well, and I think there is also this component as you were speaking, because it is true, right? So many of our most caring first responders working day in and day out to save lives, but they have also all these issues, because I think there's this combination of, when you're a woman, number one, right? We tend to take care of everyone and everything outside of ourselves. But when you're also in the healthcare profession, that's amplifying this. So I love what you said about changing your own mindset.
Yes.
That's where it starts. It has to be. And I think that's one of the reasons why coaching in itself, because obviously I talk about these topics and I have all these different guests. You're a professional. I'm not a doctor. But there is this combination of what we do as coaches, therapists, doctors that help the person, because it's a team usually that we all need. I have various coaches for various things that we do. So we don't have to do this alone. Right. And I think that's one of the beauties of what we're doing here today. Now, you mentioned in our, our LinkedIn conversations that that you wanted to share really with our viewers and our listeners, what are the top 3 risk factors, so that it's that we get this information out there to them. So if you don't mind, we can share that with them now.
Yeah, sure. So one of the biggest things that many people, and women especially, don't realize is that insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, 1 in 3 of us got it and don't even know it. And so if you don't know what metabolic syndrome is, it's really kind of like an umbrella term for a couple different health issues that many people have. And again, some people know they have it because they've been to the doctor and got checked out and they know, but then there's a whole other subset of people who want to live in denial and don't want to go talk to the doctor and don't,
Right.
want to know all that. But it is high blood pressure. It is high cholesterol. It is carrying extra weight. It is being pre-diabetic or even type 2 diabetic, having elevated blood sugar levels, being insulin resistant. So constantly high blood sugars all the time, lots of inflammation, stress. We could throw in stress in there too. All of that really is under that umbrella of metabolic syndrome. And those are all risk factors for cardiovascular disease, for some type of event that you're eventually going to have if you don't address any of those. So that's one part of it. Another part is we're women, we're females, we got hormones. And as we get older, just naturally the different hormonal changes that we have can trigger metabolic syndrome. So it can trigger issues with our blood sugar. It can trigger issues with our blood sugar.
Right.
And so that can those changes can just trigger that. And also some things happen with our metabolism. So I speak a lot about metabolic flexibility. So how easily does your body adjust to changes in blood sugar once you eat food? And a lot of times after, or, kind of during that menopausal time, so right when you're kind of cruising into it and going through it, it's different for everybody. But there can be like some weight that starts to accumulate, especially like around the middle, a lot of women notice. And it's visceral fat. And a lot of that fat comes from being insulin resistance, which is triggered by these hormonal changes that we have. And so I teach a lot about intermittent fasting. That's actually the thing that saved my life and that I teach and I do and I have all my clients do when they're dealing with these issues. But intermittent fasting is a really great way to naturally start to teach your body how to become more metabolically flexible. And so that's one of the strategies that I like to use there. I think I kind of covered them all together there. But that's really all of the risk factors that women especially need to look out for. And also knowing that, a typical heart attack, a cardiac event looks different for women than all that we're shown on TV and that you see in the movies and all of that. It presents very differently for women. And a lot of times women don't even realize that they're suffering some type of cardiac event because of that. And even one step further, this interesting point got brought up when I was renewing my CPR the other week, is that bystanders don't feel comfortable doing CPR to women, because we got all of this going on up here. So that further delays our treatment if we were to have some type of event out and about in public. Because we're women, automatically the response time is way longer for us, and therefore our recovery time, our survival rate is less because of that.
I never would have, obviously as a woman, I wouldn't have, but it makes sense what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I just never thought of it that way. I would never have thought that would be an issue.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Physicality itself plays into this. Wow.
And just imagine if you were a pregnant woman, how comfortable is somebody going to be doing CPR on you if you're a pregnant woman? And how many older pregnant women do we have now? Women having babies later in life. So all of those factors just really compounds onto taking care of your heart, reducing your risk factors, reducing the risk for you having an event like this. It's a lot more than people really think about.
It really is, isn't it? Mm-hmm. All due to our physical being. Mm-hmm. That is really mind-blowing. Sorry, I'm just like, my brain is trying to process, because I've just never, obviously I take it for granted. I'm a woman, so I'm not going to think of myself from an outside perspective. Mm-hmm. But as you're saying this and explaining it to me, I can see how that could delay, how that could be a problem for people.
Right. Because people won't feel comfortable. Like if you were to have to put the pads on somebody, right, to defibrillate them, to connect the AED machine, how comfortable is somebody going to be ripping open your shirt and exposing all of this stuff? They're going to think twice, or maybe not even do it because they're like, oh, this is a lady, I can't do this. And in the meantime, seconds are passing by.
Sure.
And that's, your rate of survival goes down every time. And what I was talking about with my CPR instructor was, where are the initiatives to normalize CPR on women? Why are we not talking about this more and having more, even going down to the mannequins? The mannequins are mostly all male that we practice on a lot of the time.
Right.
So what are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, here we are. We are having this discussion. Yeah, and everyone that is listening and viewing will hopefully, that light bulb moment that I just had, again, if we reach one person who starts to think of these things in a different way that can help them be aware, educate themselves, that's what the purpose of Wellness 360 is. So thank you for that. Thank you. I want to be respectful of your time.
Sure.
But before we let you go, you've said, I've seen you on your videos, on your posts, you say that it's really important for women to invest in their health.
Yes.
And I picked up on that. I believe I understand what you mean, but I think other women listening or watching, it's going to take them back a little bit. So can you expound on that? What do you mean by invest in our health?
Exactly. Yeah, we invest into a lot of things into our life, but it's nothing that is really meaningful for us. There's nothing that is more important to you, right, than your body, than your health. But we spend so little of our financial, we spend so little of our attention on our actual physical wellness, and our emotional wellness, all the things. And so, you spoke about the coaching and the mentoring, and I'm a firm believer in that also. That is one way of investing into your wellness. And whether or not you're working with somebody on your health, anytime you're getting maybe mindset coaching, life coaching, financial coaching, whatever it might be, that all goes to support your wellness. Right. And when it comes to our health, and when I speak about women, investing into their health in particular, I really challenge women to think about how they think about self-care currently, because many women just think about the same old basic, boring, let me get my nails done, let me get my hair done, let me get my toes done, let me get these shoes, this bag. Like, it's very basic, superficial things. Right. And so I really challenge women, because if you are a high performing woman who you're out there doing things, you're leading teams, you're responsible for a lot of things. If you're in healthcare, you're a leader in the healthcare area or whatever, but you're the leader of your family. Okay. You're the leader of your family. Invest into your wellness. Don't just go get the nails and the toes and drink your water and eat your salad. No, it goes way more deeper than that. It's what's the quality of food that you're putting into your body, that you're bringing into your home? What type of supplements are you taking? Are you investing into getting routine massages and chiropractor? Are you seeing a functional medicine doctor? Are you seeing some type of naturopath? Like, what are you doing beyond the basic that everybody does? Because your life is far from basic. The things that you're about are far from basic. So for you to perform at a higher level, you have to invest in your wellness at a different level. And it's a total different way of thinking about yourself and your health. But we like little pennies onto ourselves compared to your house maybe, or your car or something else that you're investing all this money into. I'm like, girl, you're going to end up in a hospital not being able to drive that car or be in your house. So what are you doing?
Exactly. Thank you for breaking it down once more. This is why I really tried to carve out time to watch your videos, because yes, I believe in all this. I'm in agreement with everything that you've said, but it doesn't hurt to reinforce it. That's what I tell, like, go out and listen to other coaches and find other ways to reinforce those messages, right? You're talking about, we just talked about nutrition and all of these things that you can invest. The other thing being, from the other side of things, I'm launching my wellness products. We have to look at every single day, what are you putting onto your skin? Because that's our largest organ. And imagine someone who's 40 years old, 50 years old, who's been putting toxic chemicals and just crap on their skin for 30, 20, 40 years, it is going to affect you. Like there's statistics before COVID that most people use 16 to 19 different products on their body. And post COVID, it's more like 24 different items.
Yeah.
So if you're not reading labels, if you're not looking at what you are applying to your skin, to your face every single day, that's another way that you can invest in helping yourself be healthier. If you're spending $300 for a jar of cream and that first ingredient is water,
you're paying for water. You're paying for water.
I mean, right? So those are the things where I can dive really deep with our clients, and these are simple things, but we can dive deeper and guide one another. Like I said, I believe it takes a team. It's not just a wellness coach. It's not just a lifestyle coach.
Right.
It's all these different things. And thank you for reinforcing all of this. I do think that you and I need to get together and do some more things, because I think we could really make a larger impact, even larger than what we're doing right now. So I do appreciate you being with us here today and sharing your personal story. That in itself is, I think, eye-opening for a lot of people, especially women in the healthcare industry.
Thank you.
Dr. Rosa, thank you so much. But before I let you go, I have this fun 3 fast and furious questions that I like to ask most of my guests when we have the time. And it's just that one-word answer right off the top of your head. And if you don't want to answer it, you just say pass. So do you mind if we do that?
No, I love it. Let's go.
All right. And this is going to allow people to get to know you on a little bit, a different level. So let's see. Okay. What's your favorite outdoor activity?
Bicycle.
Oh, nice. You have a favorite movie?
Pass.
Okay. What's the number one health item that you can't live without?
Oh, girl, that's so easy. My coconut oil, my gigantic jar of coconut oil that I live by.
Me too. Okay, so now, okay, the third question now has to be, and what do you use it for?
Oh, I use it for skin. That's like my only moisturizer that I use. I used it on my kids for diaper rash. Greatest thing ever. I use it all over on everything.
I'm the same way, and it's one of the examples that I use. I'll just dive into this really quickly. In the process of creating the products that I'm creating, which is hemp CBD bioresonance infused products. So stay tuned. But one of the examples that I give is Vaseline. I use that example because I have to give credit where credit's due. Vaseline, the brand, tells you exactly what it is on the label. And it says petroleum jelly. They're not trying to hide it, but their brand is so well known, right, that people just buy it. They call it Vaseline, but it's petroleum jelly. And I've always wondered, why would mothers choose petroleum jelly to put on their baby's skin when we have something so beautiful and wonderful like coconut oil that is plant-based?
Yep.
And it's always been a mystery to me. I don't have an answer. I don't get it, other than the spectacular branding and marketing machine behind Vaseline.
Yep, exactly. Exactly what it is. Yep.
Right. And so it's just things like that those of you watching and those of you listening today, I hope that you've had a couple of aha moments with us today. That's the whole goal of everything.
Good. I'm so glad. I love chatting with you. It's great.
Me too. And before you do go, when people want to reach out, you mentioned you're in Ohio and they want to reach out to you. What's the best way for them to get a hold of you, to connect with you, to watch your videos, and how do they reach you?
Yeah. So the best way is to just send me a message. So I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I'm on Facebook a lot. I am on Instagram and TikTok and all the things, but mostly it's Facebook and LinkedIn. And I always just tell people, if you find, search me on there, Dr. Alexandria Rosa, and just send me a message. Say, hey, I saw that live stream you did with Carmen and this, you talked about the CPR and oh my OMG and whatever. And just, that's the best way to send me a message and to start the conversation. And I love hearing from people and what you want to learn more about and what you're going through in your life. That's the best way. Just send me a message, reach out to me.
Love it. Thank you, Dr. Rosa. Thank you for your time. I really, I love our conversations now more than ever. And yes, we definitely have to talk some more.
I love it. All right, honey. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you. And to all of our viewers, once again, thank you for tuning in. This is why we do what we do. There are so many people here in our communities that have information that they want to share with you, that they desire you to know so that you can live healthier, better lives. That's the whole goal. And if you want to connect with me personally, I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on the socials. You can email me directly at info@divina.store. You can scan the QR code that you'll see at the end of this episode. That'll get you directly connected to me. You can go to divina.store, my website. And as always, if you see me on the socials, you can just do a shout out and we can connect. If I don't have the answers for you, I probably know someone who does, and we can get you connected and get you more information to help you live healthier, more beautiful lives. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day. And we'll see you next time right here on Wellness 360 with Carmen Milagro. Bye.